This week on the new season of
Are
The
you here because this
Bachelorette.
is a TV show?
He's one of the most conniving people in this house.
If you think that this is not the place that you should be, then you need to get out.
Jen, I'm already falling in love with you.
How can you love me?
Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back. Listen, Bachelor Nation's back in session because season 21 of The Bachelorette is kicking off tonight, week 1. This is Jenn Tran season. So let's get started. Let's talk about this first episode. Alright, so Jenn is 26. She's beautiful, she's smart, and she's fun. She was on the last season of The Bachelor, which was Joey's season, and I truly did like Jenn. I remember that she was always super creative in her little moments that she spent with Joey. Unfortunately, she left the week before hometowns, but now Jenn is on her journey to find love. I also love the fact that she is the first Asian Bachelorette in the history of the show. She is Vietnamese, and I'm so happy that we're getting more diversity on these shows. She looks very excited, a little scared, but she's gonna go through with it and make the best of it. So we see little scenes of her with her family, with her work colleagues, some friends, and just seeing the way people love her shows us that she's truly a good person. So she makes her way to the mansion. By the way, it's a new mansion. It's not the regular one. This one is much bigger and much more extravagant. So the men come out. Which, listen, no matter what it is, Bachelor or Bachelorette, never will there be a season where these introductions are not super cringy and awkward, but it is what it is. So the first guy is a guy named Marcus. Now, right off the bat, he looks very mature, and he shares that he was in the military. He served this country, and he almost died in his last deployment. So I think having a near-death experience will definitely make you man the F up. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him and Jenn. We got a guy named Marvin who was super tall and he came in speaking French. The next guy is Sam. He is 25 and he shares to Jenn that he is a virgin. It was a little weird the way he said it, but he is Iranian and he takes his values very seriously. So he says that the girl he dates will be the girl he makes his wife, which I like that because he's going to take this relationship thing very seriously. I think Jenn will definitely like him. Okay, moving on. A guy named Grant comes beatboxing and singing, which there's nothing more cringier than that. But with that aside, he looks like a cool guy. He played basketball since he was 8 and he played overseas, but then got injured. So he now works in finance. His sport career ended, but like I said, he looks cool. The next guy is Sam M. He's 27 and he's from South Carolina. He came in with the pickup line and he tells Jenn to picture her life 50 years from now. He's going to be cooking breakfast for her and he's going to have 2 shots in his hand and it's going to be shot o'clock. Again with the cringiness, but he looks nice as well. His last relationship was actually a girl who he was together with since middle school, and even they were even engaged, but she cheated on him. That's horrible. He's a contractor and he's ready to meet his person. The next guy is Thomas. He's Asian as well, and he brought her a bracelet with his last name within. I think his last name is Win, so he said he hopes this will be a win-win situation by the end. Okay, so he's a swimmer, and not only is he Asian, but his parents are also from Vietnam, as are Jen's. So that commonality is great. The next guy's name is Brandon. He came in chewing hot peppers because he says he likes to make things spicy. But this man was dying eating these peppers, and the guys inside were making fun of this poor guy. Dakota came in popping champagne. Kevin came in with ski boots and skis. Spencer came in with fabric. Now, a guy named Brian actually brought shots for him and Jenn and asked her, what time is it? Shot o'clock. So this probably overshadowed the first guy from South Carolina, and some other guy also brought ginger shots. Austin brought in a fire extinguisher. Ricky with a sexual poem. The first impression is definitely everything. So this guy named Thomas knew how to play his cards right. He brought in the most adorable puppies and Jenn was absolutely loving it. So then a guy named Jonathan came in on a stretcher and a bondage thing over his face and no underwear underneath his hospital robe. Now that's just nasty. Aaron is an aerospace engineer, so he's all about planes and stuff. But you guys, guess whose brother he? Guess who is his brother? Noah. Noah, the guy that ended up with Abigail from Paradise. I knew he looked familiar. Now, Aaron was married and he's been divorced, which I think that's interesting. So we'll see how he is. Then a guy came in on a sports car, a very nice sports car. He tells Jen that some might think he's overcompensated, but he has a big P. Okay. Dylan just took the MCAT and he hopes to be a doctor. He's from California. And the reason he wants to become a doctor is because of his grandma who had breast cancer. He's 24, so he's young. And he looks like a very nice guy. So it's nice they have that. They have something in common, which is medicine. Another medical student, Michael, brought a stand to tell her and that he's always going to put her on a pedestal. So that was nice. They sort of just rushed through a whole bunch of other men, probably men that won't go far. They did go into more detail though with a guy named Devan who's from Houston. Jen said that she got a Pete Davidson vibe from him. So then this guy named Hakeem came in with it was about 100 balloons on his back. He says Jen will make him feel like he's on cloud nine and he's ready to pop it off. Now, him trying to get into that house was hilarious because he couldn't get in and he got stuck in a tree and like almost all the balloons ended up popping. Okay, so finally all the men made it. It was a lot. Jen gives a little speech about what she's looking for and what she wants. She says that she doesn't expect anyone to be perfect, but just take it seriously and have lots of fun because she's all about fun. So the first guy who takes her to go talk is Sam M, the contractor. And I can already tell he's going to be the type of guy that plays dirty to get himself ahead and have time with her, which, hey, this is a competition. So they have a little talk about wanting a person who will choose them, the same old, same old. But he was totally digging her. I gotta say, I love Jen's sense of humor. And there was a kiss, not on the lips, but he did give it to her on the cheek because she doesn't want to kiss someone right away. She then talks to a guy named Spencer who she calls Golden Retriever Energy, which I guess that means he's a nice guy. The guy from Vietnam, Thomas, and her quickly bonded over being Vietnamese because both of their parents are immigrants and both of their mothers gave up their careers for their children. And Jen says she really cares about her culture. She doesn't really talk about it too much, but it's kind of one of those things that you got to get to know her a little bit more for her to share. And she wants to teach her kids the culture and the language, which I think is great. So the whole group gets together and they decide to play some truth or dare game. Now, the very first dare was from a guy to run around the house naked, which is why I would never go on The Bachelorette because I would not subject myself to strip around a house with a bunch of men. No, it's not happening. Some guys are cool with it. I'm not doing that. But the good thing is though, is that the other truth or dares were funny, so they just had a lot of fun playing that truth or dare game. So then Sam talks to Jen, and I really like Sam already. The Iranian guy. Now, he tells Jen that he's never had a relationship because he takes relationships very seriously. It's not something that he's just gonna oh, my girlfriend. No, it's really serious for him. And I think that his culture definitely contributes to that side of him. I hope that Jen sees this as a positive because I could see how some girls would see that as a negative. Okay, so then that weird patient with the bondage over his face, he did not take that off his face. He waited until he talked to Jen because he says to her that he wants her to fall in love with his inner being, not his looks. They talk a little and then he tells Jen to take it off and she sees what he looks like. Jen laughed and she says that she did like what she saw. So he made an impression, but it wasn't that big of a reveal. So then she continues to have more conversations with other men, and they kind of just sped through these as well. But this group of guys is definitely very fun and creative with their time. Then the guy with the car, Jeremy. So he takes her out to sit in the car. But they're just sitting there. They're just sitting in the car and they're getting to know each other, where are they from and stuff like that. Then this guy named Brian somehow was able to get the key of the car and then starts clicking the buttons to turn on the car. And it was the most uncomfortable situation because Jeremy's like, oh, you got my keys? And Brian is just standing there saying he's going to drive the car, which is not his again. And I think Jeremy wanted to probably slap the hell out of him because he was in the middle of something, and like, so I'm talking to this girl, you coming over here interrupting me, playing with my car's keys, telling me to get off because you're gonna drive it. Who the hell do you think you are? But you know what? He took the high road because Jen was sitting there not knowing what to say. So he took the high road and walked away. But that moment totally sucked. Jen then has a moment with Devan, and I think that Jen will definitely be attracted to his personality a lot because he's very talkative, funny, and kind of like the class clown, but knows when to be serious, if that makes sense. So that'll be interesting. Some of the guys inside are wondering if anyone has kissed Jen, but no one is saying anything. Grant then takes her to play basketball. Now, Jen is totally attracted to him, so she can't help but to think if she should kiss him. You can tell they both wanted to kiss each other, but then some guy came to steal her away, so it didn't happen. Jen then talks to the very first guy that she met, Marcus. He seems a little shy, and I think Jen is intrigued, so she's kind of trying to peel a little bit of a layer off of him. They both like rock climbing, so she's definitely, wants to know more about him. So some of these connections are starting to form really quickly. She also had a nice moment with Aaron, Noah's brother. So then Jen goes to get the first impression rose, which was so funny because there were two rooms, and the room where she went to go get the rose, because the rose was on a table, that room where the rose was, the guy wasn't there. So she had to, she grabbed the rose, looks around, she's like, oh, I guess he's not here, and has to go to the other room. So all the guys were like, oh, damn, it's none of us. So the first impression rose goes to Sam, the first guy she talked to once they got into the mansion. She said that she couldn't stop thinking about him. Also, this must have been a long time because if you looked outside, the sun was already coming out. And then, she gives him the first impression rose, he accepts it, and then they kiss. Now, that kiss was a little too much. I thought they were about to make a baby in the couch. Also, this is episode 1. This is episode 1, you guys. But I'm telling you guys right now, this guy ain't the one. And if she does end up with him, it will not last. I know that sounds crazy because it's been one day, but I'm pretty good at reading people. For the moment I saw this guy, there's something off about him. I can't quite tell you what it is this moment, but there's something about him. I don't think he will be the guy. So we'll see, but good thing we're keeping this as record. So then it is time for the rose ceremony. The guys seem to be very nervous. Jen tells them that she's so sorry if they don't get a rose tonight, but she has to make hard decisions, but she's really glad that everyone was here. So she starts with the names: Dylan, Thomas N, Spencer, Grant, Marcus, Thomas A, John M, Jeremy, Devan, Brian, Aaron, John, Hakeem, Jonathan, Austin, Marvin, and then the last rose goes to Sam M, the virgin. Unfortunately, 7 men had to leave, which, by the way, I think it's the first time ever they had a plus size guy. Unfortunately, he left, which I did feel really bad for him. So they left, but then, Jen got a little emotional because I think she hasn't truly let it ruminate that she is the prize this time. She's not just a choice like she's always been. So she got emotional and cried about it. So then, you guys, that was the end of the episode. But before that, she did tell them that they're going to do something that they've never really done before. They're going to Australia next week. So for it being the second week and they're already going internationally is cool, I guess. So then, you guys, from the previews, it looks like we're going to get an A+ season. I've noticed that these past few seasons of The Bachelor/Bachelorette have been very good, and people seem to be a little bit more, some seem to be a little bit more genuine, especially the leads. There will be drama for sure, and y'all already know that the men are usually more dramatic than the girls on The Bachelor. This looks like it's going to become the Real Housewives, because from the previews, it looks like the guys are going to be coming for each other. What's their intention? Does he have a secret plan? You need to leave. So it'll definitely be very entertaining. They're also kind of teasing that Jen will choose no one, but you know how they love to trick us and gaslight us, so I'm not really going based too much off the previews. But yeah, nothing too overwhelming this first episode. But it's more just of like, getting to meet the guys and kind of getting a sense of who is going to be the guys that Jen will be falling in love with. So like I said, I can't wait for the rest of the season to continue. But what were y'all's first impressions? What did y'all think of Jen? Was there any guy that stuck out to you? What did y'all think? Let me know any thoughts that you have. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye.